Okay. Om Ganana Tva Ganapatikum Avamahe Kavim Kavina Vashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanapadana Shinman Nodivasi Sadanam Shimha Ganapata Yenamaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhirvajirivati Dinam Avitrevato Maha Saraswati Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Dasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Sarva Lokanam Vishije Bhavaroginam Vidhaye Sarva Vidhyanam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha अस्मिन् गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः देवीं वाचमजनयन्त देवाः तां विश्वरूपा पशवो वदन्ति सा नो मन्द्रेषु मूर्जन्തുहाना धेनुर्वागस्मान् उपसृष्टदयितु व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकदातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत्श्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीललितामहात्रिपुरसुन्दरी समेत श्रीचन्द्रमौळीश्वराय नमः काञ्चीकामकोटिपीठाधिपति जगद्गुरु श्रीशङ्कराचार्य श्रीचरणयोः प्रणामाः स्वस्ति श्रीमदखिलभूमण्डलालङ्कारत्रयत्रिंशत्कोटिदेवता सेवित श्रीकामाक्षी देवी सनाथ श्रीमदेकाम्बरनाथ श्रीमहादेवी सनाथ श्रीहस्तगिरिनाथ साक्षात्कारपरमाधिष्ठान सत्यव्रतनामाङ्कित काञ्ची दिव्यक्षेत्रे शारदामणसुस्थितानाम् अतुलितसुधारसमाधुर्य कमलासनकामिनी धम्मिल्लसम्फुल्लमल्लिका मालिका निश्चिन्तमकरन्दझरी सौवस्तिकवाङ्निकम्ब विजृम्भणानन्दतुन्दिलितमनीषिमण्डलानाम् अनवरदाद्वैतविद्याविनोदरसिकानां निरन्तरालङ्कृतीकृतशान्तिदान्तिभूम्नां सकलभुवनचक्रप्रतिष्ठापक श्रीचक्रप्रतिष्ठा विख्यात यशोऽलङ्कृतानां निखिलभाषण्डषण्डकण्ठकोद्घाटनेन विशदीकृतवेदवेदान्तमार्गशन्वतप्रतिष्ठापकाचार्याणां श्रीमत्परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्यवर्य श्री जगद्गुरु श्रीमत् भगवत्पादाचार्याणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमच्चन्द्रशेखरेन्द्र सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमज्जयेन्द्र सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अन्ते वासिवर्य श्रीमत् विजयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्रीपादानां च शरणधनयोः सप्रश्रयं साञ्जलिबन्धं च नमस्कुर्मः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीमात्रे नमः ऑडियो சரியா இருக்கா
Audio, no, it's like
not in the Google Meet in YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, so we will continue with the Vishnu Sahasranamam. I will talk less and just focus more on the shlokas so that we can move a little faster. We stopped with श्लोका 27 एवमेतानि नामानि जपकाले विशेषतः विन्नसेदात्म रक्षार्थं सर्वमङ्गलसिद्धये. Correct? The next is Purvanyasah. We talked about it a little bit. Purva means before, the prior or the beginning. So this nyasam is done before you actually get into the actual Vishnu Sahasranama. So Asya Shri Vishnor Divya Sahasranama Stotra Mahamantrasya Shri Veda Vyaso Bhagavan Rishihi. The hand goes on the top shiras. Anushtup Chandaha in front of the mouth. Shri Mahavishnu Paramatma Srimannarayano Devata. The heart is in your hand is in your heart. Amritanshudbhavo Bhanuriti Bijam, right breast. Devaki Nandana Srashteti Shaktihi, left breast. Udbhavah Kshobano Deva Iti Paramo Mantraha. Shankhabrinnandaki Chakriti Lakam, between your heart and the Nabhi. Sharngadhanva Gadadhara Ityastram. Rathangapani Rakshobhya Iti Netram, eyes. Trisama Samagas Sameti Kavacham, cross shoulder. Anandam Parabrahmeti Yonihi, private part. Rutasadashana Kala Iti Digbandha, do this. Shri Vishwarupa Iti Dhyanam, Shri Mahavishnu Prityartham Sahasranama Jape Viniyoga. You can do this way or you can even just keep it as it is. Dhyanam Kshirodanvat Pradeshe Shuchimani Vilasatsaikater Mauktikanam Kshirodanvat Pradeshe Shuchimani Vilasatsaikater Mauktikanam Mala Klipta Sanastas Sphatika Mani Nibhair Mauktikar Manditangaha मालाक्लिप्तासनस्तस्फटिकमणिनिभैर्मौक्तिकैर्मण्डिताङ्गः शुभ्रैरभ्रैरदभ्रैरुपरि विरचितैर्मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः शुभ्रैरभ्रैदरभ्रैरुपरि विरचितैर्मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः आनन्दीनः पुनीयादरिललित गदाशङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः आनन्दीनः पुनीयादरिल गदाशङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः भूः पादौ यस्य नाभिर्वियदसुरनिलश्चन्द्रसूर्यौ च नेत्रे भूः पादौ यस्य नाभिर्वियदसुरनिलश्चन्द्रसूर्यौ च नेत्रे कर्णावाशाश्चिरोद्यौर्मुखमपि दहनो यस्य वास्तेयमब्धिः कर्णावाशाश्चिरोद्यौर्मुखमपि दहनो यस्य वास्तेयमब्धिः अन्तस्थं यस्य विश्वं सुरनरखगो गो गोभोगि गन्धर्वदैत्यैः अन्तस्थं यस्य विश्वं सुरनरखगो भोगि गन्धर्वदैत्यैः चित्रं रम्यते तं त्रिभुवनवपुषं विष्णुमीशं नमामि चित्रं रम्यते तं त्रिभुवनवपुषं विष्णुमीशं नमामि. And then you say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham. Vishwadharam Gaganasadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam. Vishwadharam Gaganasadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam. Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Hriddhyanagamyam. Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Hriddhyanagamyam. Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Meghashyamam Pītakausheya Srivatsankam Kaustubhodbhasitangam. Meghashyamam Pītakausheya Srivatsankam Kaustubhodbhasitangam. Punyopetam Pundarīkāyatāksham Vishnum Vande Sarvalokaikanātham. Punyopetam Pundarīkāyatāksham Vishnum Vande Sarvalokaikanātham. Namah Samasta Bhutanam Adibhutaya Bhubhrite. Namah Samasta Bhutanam Adibhutaya Bhubhrite. Aneka Rupa Rupaya Vishnave Prabhavishnave. Aneka Rupa Rupaya Vishnave Prabhavishnave. Sashankachakram Sakiritakundalam Sapitavastram Sarasiruhekshanam. Sashankachakram Sakiritakundalam Sapitavastram Sarasiruhekshanam. Saharavakshasthalashophikaustubham Namami Vishnum Shirasa Chaturbhujam. Saharavakshasthalashophikaustubham Namami Vishnum Shirasa Chaturbhujam. Chhayayam Parijatasya हेमसिंहासनोपरि छायायां पारिजातस्य हेमसिंहासनोपरि आसीनमब्धुश्याममायाताक्षमलङ्कृतम् मम्बुदश्याम मायताक्षमलङ्कृतम् चन्द्राननं चतुर्बाहुं श्रीवत्साङ्कितवक्षसं चन्द्राननं चतुर्बाहुं श्रीवत्साङ्कितवक्षसं रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाभ्यां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाभ्यां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये. Up to this, it is all part of Purvanyasam. So going forward, you will know where does the actual stotram start and what is all this that you chanted so far. Right? So any questions so far on this? So far so good? Manivan ungalukkum okay va?
Yeah, I'm fine, but the only thing is that the printout I have, I don't think I have picked up whatever you have given. So
Sherry, what I will do is before the next class, I will release my own script
sure. Okay, thank you.
in multiple languages, so that should seal the deal.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to do this before the class itself. Let us all just take a moment and offer our prayers to our champion script generator, Mr. Anantanarayanan, Padmaja's husband. I just got to know just before the class that he is hospitalized for typhoid in Mumbai. So let's all send our good prayers for him to get well soon. So let's go back to Mundaka Upanishad. Anybody got time to go through what we learned last week? Any question? Was it abstract? Was it understandable? Did it give some insights or did it raise more questions? Any of the keywords that you can say that yes, these are the things that you learned last time?
So Brahma, it's the first one, and he taught Veda to his son Atharva.
Super. You almost got everything. So, Om Brahma Devanam Prathamas Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta. That means Vishwasya means of the universe. Karta means the maker of the universe. Bhuvanasya means of the world. So the maker of the world or the universe and the protector is none other than Brahma, who is also the first of the gods. He gave the knowledge of what is Brahma Vidya, which is the basis of all knowledge. Because the question was asked to him, what is it that we must learn by which we will learn everything? That was the question to which he answered. And the answer is Brahma Vidya, which is what he said. And this information he gave to his eldest son, Atharva. That is what the first shloka is. So now before we go to the second shloka. So all of you are familiar with what is Brahman? No idea? Those who are speaking, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Is it a knowledge?
No, what is Brahman? Anu is well read. And, she's hesitating, or she may be wanting others to give the answer. சாய் உங்களோட தலை தான் தெரியுது, கொஞ்சம் இன்னும் கேமரா கேட்பட்டுக்கும். Super, yeah. Brahman means it's the ultimate truth, the absolute, the formless, shapeless, that we can't see, but that's the reality. I think we spent a lot of time talking about it. I show you that and I say this is the bottle, you will say, yeah, this is the bottle. That's a process of learning that we have. We are that low level right now. Somebody told you if there is a cap and there is a bottom, then it is called a bottle. So you are tutored, programmed, it goes to the database. Next time you see something similar, you compare, your brain compares. Oh, this is titled bottle, so it's a bottle. So if you want to fool somebody, then you can take an apple and paint it with orange color. And you'll have to figure out whether somebody says that's an orange or an apple. Because there are two aspects by which you determine whether it is an apple or orange. One is the color and the second is the shape. Right? So we are still busy learning all these things. And so the key concept here is we spend our lifetime in trying to learn, even Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, all of these Vedas and rituals and sutras, they are all called part of the lower knowledge. Can anybody guess why it is treated as lower knowledge?
I think we discussed in the last class that it's day-to-day life things that's a lower.
Right. That is one component of it. Correct. What else?
Is it because it's like on the material which has got a form and shape or whatever, but then the higher knowledge is something really too vast to comprehend before you get there? Is it something like that?
Sort of you touched upon.
It's formless, so it's,
yeah,
it's
but
basically energy.
Yeah, you sort of touched upon it, but not spot on. Okay, so what is the meaning of Upanishad, the word Upanishad?
To stay close to the Guru.
Correct.
Basically that, right? Being
Upa
close to
is near, right?
Yes.
Ni is definitive with discipline. Ni. And Shat is basically you learn through experience. So anything that you learn through experience is called Upanishad. Upanishad gives you the tool to learn through experience. That means it's not somebody does it for you. That means like I chant Vishnu Sahasranamam 100 times and you get peace. It doesn't work like that. So you can't say, no, I'm too sick and not feeling so good. Kumar, can you do mantra japam for me? Yeah, if I do it, I'll get the benefit, not you. So we call all the Vedas and other things mantras as lower knowledge because they are more focused on the ritualistic aspect of the things. So you know the aspect of dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? So what happens is when you are focused on everything materialistic, when you are focused on your body, people say that I do yoga. Yoga means you're more focused on your body shape, and you feel that you've done a great deal of things by just putting your body to different postures and controlling your breath and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but that is because people are not learning the right way, the teacher, because that is a huge
yes, but still it is focused on your body. Focused on your body. You do pranayam, it gets you the fitness levels, right? So pure yoga is not the solution by itself. It can be a good component in the entire toolkit. Then if you're going after certain aspirations, and if you're more focused on, fulfilling your desires, it is something that is endless. Why do I say that it is endless? Is it appropriate to say that your desires never get fulfilled? No.
See, it basically gets to a point. Initially, yes, we all say that, okay, if I just want this, I'll be satisfied. But then it just goes on. It's more on that Raktabija concept which we have in Devi Saptashati. But the thing is, what happens is if you just decide that, okay, from tomorrow I'm not going to be like this, it doesn't happen.
Correct.
The thing is that grace has to come to you, and that will come to you only with a lot of meditation and prayer. The actual dhyanam, when you connect to the universe and you actually have the Guru grace, only that Guru grace will help you to, to break away from this desire point of things.
So, in short, the summary is the desires never get fulfilled because let's say that you said, "Oh, I am living in a very small house. I want a big house." You get the big house, you think your desires are fulfilled, but then you say, "Oh, now I have a big house. I don't have a car." You try to get and acquire a car, you'll say, "Oh, I have a car, but I don't have a driver." So, by the time you see your desires are fulfilled, the next one is waiting in line as your requirement. So, you go down that path, it's a never ending path, right? So, all of these things are categorized in that lower level. And say, okay, I learned Vedam, I learned Slokam, I can chant Lalita Sahasranamam, I can chant Vishnu Sahasranamam, I can chant Subramanya Bhujangam, Kanakadhara Sutram. Everything is all focused on either procedures, rituals, or fulfillment of your spiritual path or journey. The message here is if you really want to elevate yourself, you need to focus on understanding yourself. Because we do believe in that non-duality concept of Jivatma and Paramatma. So first you have to understand yourself, who you are, what you are. So just doing mantra japam, etc., all that stuff is upasana. Upasana is meant for certain things. Oh, I will do a Devi Mahatmya Paranam in my house because my son has to get distinction or he has to come first in some examination. So you always have some demands and requirements associated with all that stuff. Whereas when you elevate yourself to a higher level knowledge, which is in pursuit of trying to understand yourself, who you are, what you are, why you are, you really get closer to God. Or God resides in you. And when you are with God, there can be no miseries. So your miseries get dissolved. You attain peace and happiness. But it doesn't happen just like that. I sat in meditation today and I imagine myself internally through all the Microsoft technology or AI technology, hologram technology. So I know my body contains heart, liver, lungs, etc. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking of the spiritual aspect of it, the abstract part of it. Right? So moment you invoke God and God is with you or you are closer to God, all these miseries, etc., goes away. And the key component here is that you become a devotee. When you become a devotee, you get devotion. I don't know what is the equivalent word in English or in Telugu. In Tamil, they say Aikyam. Right? What's the equivalent word in Telugu?
The same. Telugu also, it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is essential. And when you attain that path or attain that status is when you will say, hey, I don't really care whether I'm sleeping in a Sealy number bed or I'm sleeping on the floor. Those desires, etc., starts going away. You start the process of detachment. So that is the focus that is being talked about in terms of what the higher level knowledge is. So let's go to the next shloka, which is yeah, we finished first one. Yeah, the second shloka is Atharvane Yam Pravadeta Brahmatharva Brahma Avagraha Brahmatharva Tam Purovachangire Brahma Vidyam Purovachangire Brahma Vidyam Sabharadvajaya Satyavahaya Praha Bharadvajongirase Paravaram. So Atharvane Yam Pravadeta Brahmatharva Tam Purovachangire Brahma Vidyam Sabharadvajaya Satyavahaya Praha Bharadvajongirase Paravaram. So, in short, if the meaning of this shloka is what Atharva was told by Lord Brahma, he transferred that knowledge to Angi. Angi transferred that knowledge to Satyavaha. What is the knowledge that they are transferring or transmitting?
The Mundaka.
The same Brahma Vidya?
Brahma Vidya, correct. Manivanan, Mundaka Upanishad elaborates the process, what happened. It's a summary of what happened. What gets transmitted or transferred is a knowledge of Brahma Vidya, which is dealing with what is Brahman, what is that absolute truth,
Okay.
what is the supreme,
Okay.
eternal, permanent, formless.
Okay.
That topic is called Brahma Vidya.
Brahma Vidya.
Yeah. It's also called Paravidya and Aparavidya. Aparavidya. So that classification also exists. I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of terminologies. I just want to keep it simple. So Angi transmitted this knowledge to Satyavaha, the son of Bharadvaja. Bharadvaja is one of the rishis. And Satyavaha gave this great science to Angiras. So quite a few of you who would be doing the Abhivade, you will say Angirasa, Bharaspatya, Bharadvaja, that is the hierarchy. Traya Rishiyah. Right? So this is in short the meaning of mantra number 2. So any doubt on this right now?
Hey, now I understand a little bit about why Abhyavadi is coming. இது சொல்லுவாங்க அங்கிரச பாரத்வாஜ புரிஞ்சது
Bharaspatya, Bharadvaja, Traya Rishiyah, Pravarvanvitaha.
Traya Rishiyah சொல்லுவாங்க.
That is the hierarchy of the rishis. Trayana Moona, Rishiyah, Moona rishis.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Then you get down to Bharadvaja Gotra, Drakhyayana Sutra. So my Gotram is Bharadvaja Gotram. Drakhyayana Sutram. I have learned Drakhyayana Sutram.
Okay. Got it.
Sama Shakhadhyayi. Samam is the Vedam, Shakha is the branch. Adhyayi means I am a student of that branch of Vedas. Venkata Subramanya Namaham Asmi Bhoho. Right? Okay. So, any questions related to the shloka number 2? Or shall we go to number 3? எல்லாரும் வீடியோ மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு சைலண்ட் ஆயிட்டா.
These are all the disciples, one to each other, right, Kumarji?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, that's it.
No question at all? Okay, so next one. Shaunako Havai Mahashalongirasam Vidhi Vadupasanna Prapacha. Shaunako Havai Mahashalongirasam Vidhi Vadupasanna Prapacha. Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñate Sarvamidam Vijñatam Bhavatiti. I think we stopped here last time, but anyway, it's a good revision. Doesn't matter. So, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñate Sarvamidam Vijñatam Bhavatiti. This is shloka number 3 in Mundaka Upanishat. So, what is the meaning of this? Shaunaka is called as known as a great sacrificer. Shaunaka approached who? Angiras. That's the last person in the queue, right? So, do you all remember the hierarchy now? Who got it first? From Brahma. Correct.
Atharva.
Manivandan, you're spot on. From Brahma, it went to Jeshtaputra.
Yeah.
Atharva. Atharva gave the knowledge to
Angiras.
Angi.
Angi.
Angi gave that knowledge to?
Bharadvaja.
No, Satyavaha,
Sattva.
son of Bharadvaja. Satyavaha gave it to Angiras.
Okay.
Now, Shaunaka approached Angiras
Okay.
and he asked that simple question. Oh, Rishi, what is that through the knowledge of which everything becomes known? There is a hidden meaning here, which we all know, we have heard it a million times. Whatever we see and experience right now is Maya. That is not the real truth. So you are busy in the world of lower level knowledge, you will feel very content and happy and satisfied that you know everything, but you really know nothing. Because what you know is not real. So if you want to know the real truth, the absolute truth, or the Brahman, you will have to develop yourself, learn the art and tools of Brahma Vidya. What is Brahma Vidya? Through that path, you'll be able to know everything that you need to know. Clear? Or is it too confusing?
One more time, Kumarji.
I'm saying either you can spend your lifetime in just going after all the dharma, artha, kama related aspects. I want car, I want home, I want a luxury car, I want air conditioning, I want a computer, iPad, iPhone, iMac. List is endless.
Mhm.
Or you can say I'm following the path of spirituality by just learning the monotonous rituals. I have to light the light in this direction. The wick has to be 1, 2, 3, facing south, north, east. You're caught into all that basic level of knowledge. Or you go and attempt to learn the higher level of knowledge, which is more about you and the Jivatma within you, which is part of Paramatma. Until you touch upon that aspect, which is called Brahma Vidya, you will not gain access to or learning what is the ultimate truth. Till you learn what is the ultimate truth, you will believe what you are seeing around you as the real truth. This is the real world.
Okay.
But we all have heard it that this is nothing but Maya.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So, Shaunaka the sacrificer asked Angiras, the knowledge of everything through the knowledge of one thing means that everything is made up of that same thing, all pervasive. Right? Ordinarily, the knowledge of one thing does not imply the knowledge of another thing. Now, you let us just have a little bit of more focus, concentration, because after a while, if you don't pay attention, you're going to spin. But Brahma Vidya is not a knowledge which excludes other kinds of knowledge. That is the key part that you need to learn. When we talk of Brahma Vidya, it is not a knowledge which excludes other kinds of knowledge, but it is a knowledge that transmutes itself into all kinds of knowledge, which you need to know to experience or understand what is that absolute truth. Yeah. The last class also I gave you several examples. I can write 6. I can show it to you. You will believe it is 9. I will believe it is 6. Neither of us are wrong. Neither of us are correct. But when you talk of absolute truth, there is no two sides to it. There are no two arguments to it. That is the real truth. That's the real world. So spiritual knowledge means the direct experience arrived at through the fusion of the essence of the object of knowledge into the essence of the subject of knowledge. So when you are in pursuit of this higher level knowledge, which internally is talking about like discovering oneself, you get to learn what is that self, and then you get to learn through experience. So in modern day language, you can say there is a theory class and there's a lab. Right? Somebody can do a whiteboard of chemistry for 10 hours and give you all sorts of formula. But ultimately, if you go to the lab and say, okay, this is how I make water, I make ABC chemical, that is learned through experience, practical. Are we still together? All of you are very serious. That's very scary. Like everybody is staring at me. Oh, come on. Tell me what are you saying now? No, Sai, unmute pannugo. If it is going too abstract, tell me, we can slow down and we can stop.
I think it is an abstract concept, so we just have to read it multiple times to get it.
Correct. Correct. But important is grasp the keywords. And I am trying to dumb it down as much as possible. Instead of trying to give too many explanations, I'm not trying to be technically or politically absolutely correct. I'm going to get you into the zone which will allow you to get that entrance into the topic and say, okay, now I really get it. I understand it. But again, the key is unless you put faith, practice, and learn and read and understand, you cannot experience. And unless you come to the first step of experience, you will not be able to go to the next step. So this is something that somebody cannot read for you and say, okay, I'll explain to you and you can understand. That is why it is called Upanishad. You have to experience it. So spiritual knowledge is a very indivisible experience. It is not divisible like intellectual knowledge. Here you can say this is physics, this is chemistry, this is math, this is finance, this is engineering, this is medicine. You can compartmentalize it, or you can do specialization, etc. When you are in pursuit of spiritual knowledge, and the ultimate goal is to gain that higher level of knowledge through discovering oneself, it is comprehensive. It is all one knowledge, one mega block. Make sense? So you can't say I'll discover myself about my lungs, but I don't care about where it is, what it is, and how it is connected to everything else. You got to understand the overall total system. Make sense? No?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it is again harping on the same point of duality and non-duality. How many of you know the various branches of philosophy?
Advaitam, Vishishtadvaitam, Dvaitam.
Okay, so you hit the answer, you hit the nail on its head.
I just
Can
know
you,
those three.
yes, can you elaborate a little bit, one line on what those three things stand for?
I mean, Vishishtadvaitam says like, they believe in Narayana, right? So that's kind of, they believe in one guru or one god, to which they can attain the moksha. Like kind of that's Vishishtadvaitam. Advaitam is like, I don't know, this is very, it's too much for me to understand, but it's kind of like, I mean, you are it, right? That's what it is. It combines both. I mean, there's no. How do I explain this? There's no two here. There's no two here, right?
Unique.
You are Brahman. You are.
Advaita is Advitiya.
Okay.
That's not true, yeah.
Then?
All in one and one in all. One in all.
Okay.
Vaitam. Just know it is the Madhvacharya and all those things.
Right. So let us put it this way. Good attempt. So just to let you know, I attended a 24-week course on whether these three philosophers actually were at each other's throat, contradicting each other, or they have a hidden meaning and reconciliation, that they're all talking about the same God, same concept, but the path is different. Taking Turnpike versus Route 1 versus Route 130. Beautifully explained. But I had to literally put lots of belts around my head so that my head doesn't blow out or I lose my focus. It was that abstract. So anyway, to simplify things, Adi Shankaracharya is the real author of Advaita. Advaita means this non-duality. So in short, there is a Jivatma, there is a Paramatma, but these are not two distinctively different from one another. The Jivatma is part of Paramatma. We ultimately merge into the Paramatma. That is one concept, non-duality. After a few years, Madhvacharya came. He said there is no non-duality, there is duality. And he said, yes, you merge, but that absolute is not formless, it has got form and shape. So there is a subtle difference. And that was driven by Madhvacharya. So there are lots of Madhvas who follow that philosophy. Where do you find them mostly?
Karnataka.
Correct.
Now,
Visishtha.
the question is, Kumarji, when you say absolute, does it refer to Jivatma or Paramatma?
Paramatma.
Paramatma, okay.
We are only an ansh of that, a part of that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that is this thing. Visishtadvaitam is like not Advaitam and not Dvaitam. It's a hybrid model, and it was conceptualized by Sri Ramanujacharya much later after Madhvacharya. So unless you have a good taste for understanding Vedanta philosophy, these things will really go on top above your head. But if you are able to understand and get it, it enlightens you and puts you into a different path of how you conduct your life going forward. Right? So Spiritual knowledge means the essence of knowledge that of everything that exists in generality as well as in particularity. It is the knowledge of the highest cause, the knowledge of which means the knowledge of uh, all its effects also. That is, in a sense, the shloka number 3. So, for the shloka number 4, I'll first explain the meaning and then we go to the shloka.
Kumar, just one question.
Ah.
So the shloka number 3, he asked a question about how to gain knowledge, right?
Correct.
But where is it talking about? This is about Dvaitam or Advaitam.
No, I'm just elaborating a slightly digress. That was not part of the meaning of the shloka.
Okay.
I just digress to set the context in terms of what are we talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So, mantra shloka number 4 is where Angiras told Shaunaka that 2 kinds of knowledge have to be acquired. These are the lower and the higher. So, to seal the deal, to make it absolutely clear, they are saying you need to have or pursue a higher level of knowledge, higher knowledge. But you can't just dismiss or ignore the lower level of knowledge that I don't need it. It is an essential component that you understand that in order for you to appreciate what is there in the higher level of knowledge. So, even if you look at our normal education system from the Vedic or spiritual side, we are all taught first Vedas. Vedas sets the base for Swaram, Shruti, Matra, Balam, all of those things. And as you practice and learn, technically all of us are supposed to learn all the 4 Vedas and Sutras. So once you master all that, then you graduate into Sri Vidya. Sri Vidya is the branch where it gives you a lot of focus in doing external form of worship as well as internal form of worship. That is the subject through which you discover yourself. Yeah, Anu, you were about to ask something, then you stopped. Anu, you were going to ask something? Okay. So, any questions so far on this, or you just walked into a very abstract and serious class?
Kumaji, you talked about you had to first learn the 4 Vedas, then Sri Vidya. And where does this this is part of what? The 4 Vedas?
This is Brahma Vidya is part of the higher level knowledge.
Higher level. So this is something that you learn after you cross the Sri Vidya?
Sri Vidya Upasana, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
But there are always exceptional students that can get double promotion, do advanced AP courses and honors courses, etc. So I just want to be absolutely clear that there is no template that you must do this and have to do this. There are different, again, the process of learning and ways of learning could be slightly different. The message here is that you cannot ignore one and just focus on the other. Because if you're not even aware of what those mantras mean, how to chant, how to pronounce, and why I keep saying about chanting of mantra over and over again. Why not reading of mantras and memorizing mantras?
So chanting of mantras is actually very powerful because it's all it's on the beat of the sound. The sound.
Yeah, but why it is important?
No, because it sets a certain kind of a vibration with that sound, which creates a certain field around you.
So the short word is you get experience only through that.
Yes.
If you just keep listening to it, I'll put the Vishnu Sahasranamam cassette, will I get moksha? No, the cassette maker might get moksha, not you.
Because there's a whole lot of breath work in that.
So experience is the key word.
Yes.
For you to experience that spirituality and elevate yourself to higher levels of energy or comprehension, you have to go through the process, right?
Then how do you distinguish that? Let's say that I go to Chinmaya Mission and listen to some Swamiji who explains this to me. How do you distinguish that from the process of experience that you're talking about?
Right. And I'm glad you asked that question. It will come back to the same point that I'm trying to say again. What is the job of that Swamiji? The Swamiji is not programming you to get that experience to realize what is the ultimate truth. Cannot do it. Swamiji or Guru, all of their job and task is to be a beacon of light. That light is to remove the darkness of ignorance. How do they do it? By providing knowledge and interpretation, which gives you sort of an insured or assured level of comfort that I'm getting authentic knowledge. I don't know whether it is there in Chennai or in Mumbai. If you go and you ask for direction, everybody will be very eager to give direction. So direction means the guy is a guru. Indirectly, is a guru. He tells you if you're lost, he'll tell you go do this, do this. The beauty there is that he will tell you, okay, you do one thing. You from here you go make a left, and then you make a right. And as soon as you make a right, there will be a big church outside. But ignore the church and make a left again. So they will give all those TMI, there are too much of detailed information that you will see this, but please ignore it. And then you go left. So ultimately, all of those things will only mean that you're getting directions and guidance and knowledge. But ultimately, it all depends on you, what you do. Without doing, you will not be able to gain any experience. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that path is also essential, which is why we in our system we always say Guru Parampara. You can have Chat GPT, you can have next version of Chat GPT. It has not even been launched in a big scale. Already two major controversies. Anybody tracking that? Where people are predicting like it's just the end of the world. We have achieved the ultimate. No, even before somebody is able to stake a claim that you type any question, Chat GPT will give you answers. There are already people questioning the answers, the validity of the answers. And now they are introducing a new concept called large language models. Where does it take? It does take to the same concept of what I'm saying. I am saying 6, you're seeing 9. I cannot automate this, right? So let's take one simple example of a word. Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of the word gati in Sanskrit?
What word?
Gati.
Gati is the speed with which you movement. Gati is movement.
Correct. Is that the ultimate truth?
No. Because there can be many shades of it depending on the context.
Okay, that is a little bit of spinning. When somebody passes away, what do you say?
Sadgati.
Sadgati, right? Does it mean that good speed or God speed? No, there is another meaning of gati called destination. So now you tell me which Chat GPT can give you a very honest answer. You wanted to know what is gati means movement. It is giving you the answer of destination. Which one to believe? And how do you distinguish that what you're getting is what you were looking for?
By training it more.
No, there you cannot substitute certain things like the Guru Parampara concept.
Okay.
Internet, as much as it helped you get free access to a lot of information, there is also a large amount of trash content. So for a learner, for a student, it is very difficult to distinguish and filter, oh, this is trash, this is false information, this is correct information.
Yeah, it can actually confuse and stunt the growth also.
Yeah.
The mind.
And I forget the shloka, I'm not able to get it immediately. I've said this at the time of Devi Mahatmya. Just the missing of one ir in the shloka, you change the entire meaning of the shloka. Instead of wishing good for your wife, you're wishing destruction for your wife. So when you learn, somebody has to teach you those nuances. If you see, when I'm teaching Devi Mahatmya, I'll keep on asking the question. Did you understand the nuance of this? Did you understand, pick up what to do, how to chant this? Right? You can't say, yeah, I'm almost correct. Same thing in Chamakam also. If you don't know what your chanting is right or wrong, you may be asking for everything negative from God. And again, I can tell you a good Tamil word for it, but I don't know the equivalent Telugu word. Adichikram. Give me this, give me that, give me this also, that also, this also. You think you're asking for everything, but you're asking for probably all negative things if you don't chant it properly. So they always tell you, be mindful of what you're asking for. And all of that only comes with proper guide or Guru Parampara, because that Guru has been certified by his Guru or her Guru. And the chain continues, which is one of the reasons why we pride ourselves in Bhaskara Prakash Ashram, like unbroken lineage all the way from Sri Bhaskara Raya. The knowledge is passed on, authentic knowledge, right? So let's go to the shloka number 4. Tasmai sahovacha, Tasmai sahovacha, Dve vidye veditanye, Dve vidye veditanye, iti hasma yat brahmavido vadanti para chaiva paracha. Dve vidye veditanye, iti hasma yat brahmavido vadanti para chaiva paracha. So we'll stop with this today. Let's take a minute or so to understand. Yeah, thank you, Padmaja. And I hope Ananta is feeling good. So we are going to sign off on YouTube. Take care and get well soon. Yeah. So